Have you ever put your all into an online marketing strategy for your business? Maybe it was Facebook or Instagram ads or email marketing, whatever it was, only for it to fall flat. I know that can be really, really disappointing. And one of the questions you may ask yourself is, what should I do? What should I do now that I've tried something, haven't gotten the results that I wanted to get? Well, something that I hear from a lot of people is they'll make a sweeping statement like, oh, you know what? I tried Facebook ads, but they didn't work. Facebook ads just don't work. And then they never do them again. What should you do after your marketing strategy doesn't go the way that you hoped it would? Do you just scrap it all together? Do you adjust it? How do you adjust it? This episode's for you if you want to know what to do when you don't get the results that you're looking for. You've tuned into Unforgettable Online Marketing, and I am your host, Tara Wilder. On this show, I share with you practical tips and strategies that you can use to create a bigger online presence for yourself, one that makes a bigger impact and attracts your ideal client and converts them into leads and paying clients. This is a unique show. It's a video podcast, which means that there is a video recording that goes along with this. So if you're watching me right now, you should also know that this is an audio podcast as well that you can tune into on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher. If you are listening to me right now, you should know that there's a video that accompanies this as well. So if you want to watch that video, just go to YouTube and search Unforgettable Online Marketing in quotes, or you can search Envivo, Envivo on YouTube, and that's my company and our YouTube channel. Or you can find us on Facebook as well. The Facebook page name is Envivo. This is episode number 5, What to Do If Your Online Marketing Strategy Falls Flat. This episode is inspired by a conversation that I've had with a lot of business owners over the course of my career as an online marketing strategist. That's really weird to say career, like I never really thought of it as a career, but I guess that's accurate. I've had this conversation with people a lot before. They will try an online marketing tactic, a specific one, anyone, but like I'm just, it'll be an online marketing tactic. And it doesn't exactly go as they hoped it would. They didn't get the results that they wanted. If it was like Facebook ads, they didn't get the engagement that they wanted. So they go to an extreme and say, oh, well, I tried Facebook ads and they didn't work. So I'm not going to try Facebook ads in the future. And then their opinion of Facebook ads is that Facebook ads don't work. As a side note, by the way, about that very specific online marketing tactic, if Facebook ads didn't work, Facebook wouldn't be making money. People wouldn't be creating entire careers around creating Facebook ads and education. People wouldn't be building businesses based on the leads that they're generating from Facebook ads. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent now. My point is people will try an online marketing tactic, not get the results they want, and then just throw it out completely. I'm really passionate about the power of the web, and when I see somebody, I don't know, closing off to an opportunity because of an experience they had, it bothers me because I know that with all online marketing, it can make an impact in your business. And when you're closed off to opportunity, you're closed off to that potential impact that you could be making. So there are also people who have tried different online marketing tactics, haven't gotten the results they wanted, and then they wonder, well, what do I do next? Maybe they're not necessarily thinking or having like a sweeping opinion about that tactic, but they're like, all right, I don't know what to do now. Do I try it again? How do I try it? Whatever. So regardless of what your experience is like or your education is like about online marketing, I encourage you to listen to all of this episode. Some of the things, if you're more educated and more experienced, educated in like online marketing specifically, by the way, if you have more experience, some of these concepts or ideas may be kind of obvious to you, but they're not obvious to everybody. So stick through this episode with me. Stick with me through this episode. Okay, the very first thing that I want to share. Say you tried something, didn't get the results you wanted, of course. What I encourage you to do is really look and see, did you truly not get the results, or what was your goal? there are a lot of people, this is totally fine, it's just a matter of education, growing, learning more and more. This is why you're listening to this episode, who have a feeling about how their online marketing is going. I hear a lot people saying, oh, I'm not getting very much engagement on Facebook. It's, and they're frustrated with Facebook. They say they're not getting very much engagement. So I dig deeper. What engagement are you getting? Then take it a step further. How many people are even seeing your post? Like, if only 10 people are seeing your post and you got no engagement, that's a lot different than if 200 people saw your post and didn't engage. The math, like, proportionately, it's less alarming if it's only 10 people who didn't engage versus 200 people who didn't engage. If you only had 10 or 20 people looking at the post and you got one like, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. I mean, I know it's only one, but you have to look at all of the numbers. Look proportionally, like how many people saw it and how many people engaged with it. A 1% conversion rate on Facebook, a 1% engagement rate on Facebook is actually an average engagement rate. It's not bad. It's good. Anything above 1% is actually pretty good. So just going with the example, if you had 10 people look at your post and one person engaged, then that's a 10% conversion rate, engagement rate. I don't know why I keep saying conversion. Engagement rate. That's pretty good. That's not bad. I know it's just one person. So let's continue with this example. And as I go through this, I want you to know that this applies, or I know you know, but I want to stress that this applies to all online marketing tactics. Just follow the logic here, and you can also kind of apply this logic to other tactics. So, okay, we got one person engaged, one like. How many people saw the post? 10 people saw the post. Okay, so proportionally, that's not so bad. But I want to get more engagement. I want more people to be commenting, clicking, sharing, whatever it is, which means you need more people to look at it. So naturally, the next question is, how do I get more people to see my posts? Because you want to increase that number, right? And one of the ways is to boost your posts. I know that a lot of people are really upset that they have to boost or pay Facebook for Facebook to show the post to more people. And I could go on a tangent about that, a very long one. And I actually have ranted about that before on our blog. And I've also done a Facebook Live about why I'm okay with paying Facebook to boost my posts so more people will see them. And so what I'll do is I'll link to them in the show notes, the blog post and the Facebook Live as well. So go to unforgettableonlinemarketing.com/5 to view the show notes. Here's another example of when you really need to be looking at the data, not just going by feeling. And this is a non-online marketing example. It's actually a sales example, an experience that I had a couple years ago. I was talking to my business coach and I was telling him, oh, my target market or the people I know, like they just simply don't spend money on marketing. They're not willing to spend money on themselves. And so my business coach said, how do you know that? And I said, well, I've talked to people. People have told me that. He said, okay, so how many people do you have in your database? And I told him, and then he said, and people that I know, those are people that I've met at like events and stuff or online networking. And he goes, okay, so how many of those people have you actually had sales conversations with? I told him. And he said, how many of those people said they can't afford it or didn't want to pay for it for whatever reason? And once I looked at that number, I realized I don't actually know. I don't have enough data to be able to make the sweeping generalization or come to the conclusion that the people I know aren't willing to spend money on their marketing. It was only like a handful of people, and I had like 300-400 people in my database. So I literally did not know enough. Oh, and how many people had I reached out to too? It was significantly less than 5 people. I hadn't had sales conversations with, I don't even think, like 100 of those people. So that's another example of going by feeling instead of the data. So I came to an unfair, what's the word? A not good conclusion, an inaccurate, that's what I'm trying to say, inaccurate conclusion, because I was just going off of my feelings. I only remembered those like handful of people who said that they couldn't pay for it. So my point is, with your marketing and sales and everything that you do in business, don't go off of feelings, go off of off of the numbers. Now hold on a second. I know that there are a lot of intuitives and people who really, are mindful of what's going on inside of them, saying, well, I kind of want to conduct business using my feelings. You can, but when you're saying like, a marketing or sales strategy doesn't work, look at the numbers as well, and actually it's your feeling thinking that it isn't working. That's a feeling, and that's fine. It's leading you to a conclusion. Just make sure that you look at the facts as well. The next point I want to make is that online marketing does work. These different tactics do work. If they didn't, then people wouldn't be recommending that we try it. There wouldn't be courses and strategists who specialize in these tactics if they didn't work. So I want to encourage you, if you think that something doesn't work, look at the data, first of all, like I said, and then also just know that all marketing, every strategy that's implemented, it's all educated guesswork. Because we can't predict how people are going to behave. We just can't predict that. There are so many different variables and we're not in control of many of them. So every marketing strategy really is just an educated guess. So if you did have a strategy or something that you did that didn't work, don't throw it out the window. Don't throw out your entire opinion or experience with an online marketing tactic and think that it doesn't work out the window. You just look at your strategy, and what you need to do is maybe adjust one or two maybe variables and see how you could do things differently and maybe get a different result. Let's go with the example of email marketing. Say that you're unsatisfied with your open rates. You shouldn't go from, thinking, oh, nobody reads emails anymore. I actually heard that recently. Nobody reads emails anymore. And people do. Email marketing it's old school, of course, as old as it can be since the internet is relatively new. But anyway, email marketing is old school, yet it's still one of the most effective ways to build an audience, nurture an audience, and actually make sales. Because, side note, just going in a different direction a little bit, by the time somebody has gotten onto your email list, they've already invested in you in a way by paying you with their information. So they're much more open to hearing what you have to say, much more open to your sales pitches. Just to put that out there. Say you're disappointed with your open rate on your email marketing. Don't throw it out. What you want to do now is increase or look to see how you can increase your open rates. There are a lot of different things you could do. You can test out your subject line. So that could be a variable that you change. Try something different. For example, something that a client of mine used to do was she named her newsletter, and for privacy reasons, I'm not going to say what it was, but it was branded. She would say newsletter name and then the number. So how many weeks she's been doing it, right? So it's Whatever Digest number 102, right? That's not a very sexy title. It's not curiosity inducing. Big, longtime fans of hers they know that newsletter is awesome. So they're going to click it and open it. But other people, newer people, they're probably, they haven't given it a chance to see like how good the content is, because maybe the subject line just wasn't really interesting to them. So something we switched it up with was trying a more curiosity-inducing subject line. So maybe asking a question or teasing what's inside. Like what you can say is the biggest mistake that I made in, and then whatever their industry is or whatever their topic is. That would be kind of like if somebody read that, they'd be like, oh, snap. What is the biggest mistake that she made? I want to make sure that I don't make it. They click it, they open the email. My point is a subject line can be one thing that you look at, one variable you look at. Another thing you can look at too is with email marketing specifically would be, what is the quality of the people on your list? Are they relevant? A friend of mine is a copywriter, and so her whole list is people, entrepreneurs who are interested in copywriting. She started a podcast that's all about the woo. And actually, I'll link to it in the show notes as well. It's called The Divine Wild Ride, or The Wild Divine. Ooh, I should know off the top of my head. I think it's The Divine Wild Ride, or it's The Wild Divine Ride. And it's very much in the spiritual woo-woo world, very different from her copywriting. So if she continued to email her list of entrepreneurs who signed up to listen to her talk about copywriting, if she emailed them about her very woo-woo, by the way, when I say woo-woo, I mean like spiritual, her spiritual podcast, not everybody is necessarily interested in hearing about that. That's not really what they signed up for her list for. So they may not open those emails. So if you are, so what she needed to do, and she did do this, was she created a new list of people. So what she did was she sent out an email to her existing list, announced this new venture of hers, said that I'm still going to be sending you emails about copywriting. If you're interested in this other thing, click here, I'll add you to that list. And then she doesn't email her copywriting list about her spiritual brand that she has now. I give that email marketing example as an example of how you can look at different variables in your strategy to see what you can switch up and see if you can get better results, basically. So don't throw it out just because you're not getting good results. Look at one or two variables, switch it up a little bit, test it. If it doesn't work again, switch it up again. And I think if you're, I know, if you're DIYing it, if you're doing it yourself and you're not a marketing expert, marketing strategist, I really recommend that you invest in a professional strategist or agency like mine, or anybody else who is qualified, of course, because online marketing, or marketing in general, is a very specialized skill. I think the internet is a beautiful thing because there are so many tools online and it's so easily accessible. It's such a great equalizer. So I know entrepreneurs like you can really easily take on your own social media, your own website, with so many website builders out there, and a lot of them are really easy to use. It's a beautiful thing that you can get started by yourself. I think in the long run, it's really it would behoove you to hire a strategist or an expert because, one, you don't have time to waste. Two, you don't have money to waste as well. So that money would be put to good use, and you'd be free to spend your time generating sales and making more money in your business. And three, you didn't go into business to do your own marketing. You went into business to make the impact that you want to make with your service, what it is you're doing. So if you've been doing your marketing for a while, not getting the results you want, you've even adjusted it, tried something different for a while, like at least a few weeks, by the way. It takes a few weeks before you can really accurately say whether or not something worked. Look into hiring a strategist. In conclusion, I really want to encourage you, don't give up on a certain online marketing tactic just because it didn't work for you the first or maybe even second time. There's a lot of different reasons why it didn't work. First of all, you want to make sure that you actually look at the numbers. You're not just going off of feeling. I mean, the feeling that it didn't work, it can spark the motivation to go and look at the numbers, but don't actually fully decide that it didn't work until you look at the numbers. And then from there, you can make an informed decision about how you want to adjust it. I would say you should still test it because it's all guesswork. So don't throw it out because it didn't work. Change one or two variables, see if you can get better results that way. If it doesn't work, then change a couple more variables. Just keep adjusting and playing with it. Every single time you adjust your strategy, give it a few weeks. Give it a few weeks to actually gather enough data to be able to confidently say it worked or it didn't work. And then finally, if you're doing your own online marketing, it's great for getting started to gathering some data and experience. In the end, I think that your goal should be to hire a strategist or an agency like Invivo or any other qualified agency, of course, to do the work for you, because that's their job. It's our job to be educated in online marketing, stay on top of things. We have lots of experience because we're working with a bunch of different clients, lots of different businesses. So we're gathering real experience as well. And then also, you didn't go into business to do your marketing. You went to do what it is that you love to do. And also, it's not in your best interest too. It's not the best use of your time, to work on your own online marketing. That time would be better spent developing your products and services, doing sales, performing those products and services, or not performing the products, performing those services. Just your time can be better spent growing your business in other areas. So yes, I definitely encourage people to DIY at the beginning, at least get your feet wet. But if you've tried something a lot and it's by yourself and it hasn't worked, consider hiring a strategist. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Unforgettable Online Marketing, episode 5. So if you would like to check out the show notes, go to unforgettableonlinemarketing.com/5. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are too. So hop on over to the Facebook group. It's called Unforgettable Entrepreneurs Society. There is a link in the show notes, and you can also just search that on Facebook. You will find it. I'll see you next time.